Now, we're going to travel to Valencia Island, right over there, to meet the legend himself, Mick O'Connell, and talk to him about his day in 1959 when he captained Kerry to victory over Galway in Croke Park. What was it like for a young Mick O'Connell growing up in Valencia, and what was the background to your family, Mick?
Oh, background football-wise was zero. My father was a fisherman and ships pilot here. I came from Begneside and across the way, and we had a farm of land near the house at home. But my father would go to local games and things like that and bought footballs for us. But playing with the local lads and watching the local teams, that's what got me interested. That's how it evolved. I played a few games, and then underage, very few. And as I said, until I came on the South Kerry team in 1955.
Your first time wearing the green and gold, Mick, was at minor level, is that correct? What are your memories of playing Kerry minor?
Minor, yeah. It was in 1955. I went up to Tralee for a trial match, and one man recommended to John Joshi. He was senior select at the time for me, and that's how he got my place. Seamus Murphy and Gary McMahon, God rest them, both of them played with me in that team.
Was your ambition then, Mick, to go on and play with Kerry and play in Croke Park or playing an All-Ireland final?
It wasn't really, because I went down to Cork one time for a year that time to go to the college in Cork, and Ty Crowley, the secretary, phoned me up one day and said Kerry were playing a challenge match down in the old Cork Athletic Grounds. I played and fielded some good balls, and after that I was recognised, and I never lost my place in the Kerry team after that. It was just, again, by accident. If Ty Crowley hadn't phoned me that day, maybe I had made some bit of an impact in the county championship before that, but that was about it.
When did you make your championship debut in, Mick, senior?
Oh, against Tipperary in Killarney in 1956. After that I kept playing until I took a break in 66, 67. I was in England for a while there.
Mick O'Connell's got it, and Mick now 40 yards out, now 30, he takes his shot, and he has sent it over the bar. Mick O'Connell, who has really come into the game in the second half with the elegance of a great footballer.
Were you playing against Waterford when Waterford beat you?
I was playing that year, 57. I started in 56, but Ned Fitzgerald was nominated captain in 57. And he was down in Waterford, and Waterford beat him. And again, I wasn't surprised. As Kerry, the slipshod preparations again. They assumed that Kerry would walk over Waterford, and that doesn't happen as the preparation. Interesting, I think it was kind of a dance band that led us around the field that day. Yeah. I think Ned often reckoned it was the dance band that led us astray.
Well, I can tell the record before the game, we were played around the field by a dance band, and I think Mick O'Connell and others thought that the band wasn't up to scratch.
Mick O'Connell actually said one day that maybe the band led you astray.
Maybe so. The actual match itself, I think we were leading until the last couple of minutes of the game. I think there was a goal scored, which left us 1 point in arrears. We had no time for recovery, and that was it. I think Paddy Sheehy, God rest him, got one chance, but the ball went skin wide.
His son Morris made the grade after, and I would say about Morris, I'd say Morris must have been the best kicker that was there in the history of the game. He could kick left and right, off the hands and off the ground, with equal facility. I don't see any other player in the history of the game has been able to do that.
This is about 14 metres out, very acute angle. Looking for Kerry's fourth point at his own second. He's measured it well, and he's put it over the bar. That's a brilliant kick by a brilliant footballer.
Mick, 1959, when Kerry won their 19 All-Ireland title, you were captain that day. What did captaincy mean to you that particular day?
Well, I suppose going back to earlier that year, South Kerry had won the county championship, 1958 county championship, and I was from Valencia and who were champions of South Kerry at the time. So there was no talk about captaincy beforehand until the first round of the Munster Championship in Killarney that year. Kerry were playing Tipperary. No mention in the dressing room beforehand who's captain today. Out in the field, Jerome O'Shea said to me, Mick, you've taken the toss today. I says, I don't need it. Or don't want it. So I said, oh, somebody. So to get the game going, I went over to the referee, and that was the initiation into the captaincy. and thereafter I capped him for that full year, 1959.
And looking back now, Mick, through the mists of time, all those years ago, when you went up to Horgan Stand to receive the cup, does it mean a lot now that you did have that opportunity of doing that?
Well, I suppose the fact that it is a memory, all right, but at the time, it's very minor apart from playing the game to me, because in those times there wasn't much made of it, as I said to you there at the outset.
It's part of GA folklore now, Mick, that when you did get the cup and you had landed back to Valentia Island and you didn't bring the cup back with you.
Well, all matches I ever played in, I was back in my job the following morning, whether it was playing with Valentia, South Kerry or any other team, and that was no different that time. I came home on the train that night, pushed on my punt. I came across here in the ferry, but my knee was giving me trouble. In fact, I was laid up for a few days in bed afterwards with it. But there was a lot of talk about leaving the cup after you then. There was plenty of people. In fact, dressing rooms down through the years were always filled with people to handle the cup, and it was not important to me. Now, even after that, I know it was outside in a garage in Waterford under tyres for several months. There was no hawking of the cup around in those days. It was celebration enough for me to play a game and come home.
You'd be recognised and remembered as one of the great fielders of Gaelic football. And did you practice your fielding deliberately, Mick? And what did fielding the ball mean to you, and how did you perfect it?
Yeah, I don't know about perfecting it, but it was the aspect of the game that gave me the greatest thrill, to get up there and catch a ball. It was a challenge against oneself.
I know there's some great photographs of you kicking the ball off the gable in wall of your house.
Well, that was only often when I was stuck. A lot of people think that was good practice. It was okay as a standby to get your eye in, but the ball comes back too dead.
Talk to us about you coming and going after matches and going to all islands, and you rowing yourself across.
I was probably the only Irish player from all over Ireland who left an island to play Gaelic football. I would go across and pull up my punt at the point and go to Dublin to the match. When the match was over, have the grub in Dublin, come back down, get a boat across again, and be at home late that night. Could be 3 or 4 in the morning. While the Dublin players were inside in their bed since midnight, I'd be still coming across in the ferry. So be it, but I wouldn't wish it any other way.
Take that photograph, Mick, there, and talk to us about it.
Somebody gave that a few years ago there to me. It was way back in the 60s. I was after going across in the boat, a very wet evening. You could see I had a course bag with my football gear here in the left hand. I was after leaving the punt and going up to go in a car, go practicing or playing a match, I think. I wonder would I do it now, knowing that life is much more comfortable nowadays.
Was the graw for the island always with you when you were away?
Oh sure, my roots are here. I've started my life here, and I presume, please God, that I'll be in my time here as well, and that my family will continue on the legacy here.
I thought always that Kerry was a compact, unified kingdom until the year 1959, and where I learned that there was another side of the story on a visit to Detroit. And on my first evening there, I was cornered by a group of men whom I very soon recognized to be Kerry men, and the first question they asked me was, how good really is Mick O'Connell? This was 1959. And I told them my honest opinion of Mick O'Connell. But the next question kind of stunned me. Was he better than Paddy Kennedy? And I had to use all my diplomacy at this because I didn't know where the company I was keeping at that particular time. But I do still remember saying that for style, nothing could ever equal O'Connell. And while for consistency, I doubted if anything would ever equal Paddy Kennedy.